Hello and welcome to another edition of Chatting with the Cougars. Today I'm really pumped up to learn about our men's golf team. The head coach, Mitch, Krywulycz, joining us here on the show. And Coach, first of all, thank you so much for just taking some time out of your day to chat with me about our men's golf team.
Absolutely. Yeah, excited about it. And I think we had a good year and some good times to come. I know it's the summer, so I don't have a whole lot to do, so pretty perfect for me.
Well, Mitch, before we talk about the coronavirus, COVID-19, let's talk about last season. What an outstanding year for you and the men's golf team. Some big wins, some top 10 finishes. You had a couple of individual awards. Just kind of summarize what this past season was for you, at least in the fall, Coach, and then we'll get to what happened in the spring.
Yeah, I would say it was probably our best overall season as a team and a program. I feel like we really did extend ourselves as kind of students and as athletes, and I think we got out in the community and made a difference. And I think overall we definitely got tighter as a team. We played some really good golf. We had some individual wins. We had some really nice awards, but just as a team, overall, I think it was our best performance. My first year, we played really good golf, but we probably didn't have enough time to, implement all the standards that I think are really important. So my second year was kind of a step up for the guys, and they really kind of extended themselves.
Coach, you talk about some of the wins, on the course, but your team really unique. Normally when we have these Chatting with the Cougars, we'll talk about, the games and the events, but not that the men's golf team did not excel, as we just talked about, on the course. But I thought off the golf course, Coach, in the classroom as well as in the community, just a special year for the men's golf team. And I guess probably one of the biggest recognitions was being awarded the Chad Effect Award, which is given to the one team within the athletic department that collects the most Cougar points in terms of community service. Talk about the importance of giving back to the community and that you and your squad did last year.
Yeah, I think it's just a really big part of college athletics, and Charleston's obviously a really tight-knit community, and we have tremendous support from that local community. I feel like we are often really uplifted, and we get a lot of energy from the community, and I just felt it was a really good opportunity to kind of throughout the course of the year give back. A lot of times our players are really good with kids, and socially, they're really experienced. And so this is kind of something that should come naturally to them. I just don't think we'd ever probably put ourselves in a position to help out as much as we probably did this year. And I think it just really helps them as young men grow, to realize where their support comes from and who is supporting them, and how good it can feel to give back and how impactful you can be as one person. And then if you get an entire team pulling that way, you can really make a change. And I think they enjoyed it. I don't at all think that they knew what they were going to receive, the awards and the recognition, when they started out. They just kind of did it because it was something that we wanted to get better at, and we thought it was really important to, help the community that helps us so much.
Coach, I want to get back to now on the actual golf course, and 3 top 10 wins this year, or finishes, I should say, including a very strong performance there at the Kiowa Classic at Turtle Point, which is one of the toughest tournaments in the country. Talk about your play on the course, and Coach, just some of the highlights that some of your young men showed during last season.
Yeah, I think the biggest change for us this past season was probably the schedule. We were used to playing a pretty local schedule against teams we knew, against, on golf courses we knew. And last year we kind of changed that up. We really extended ourselves. We traveled a lot more, really tried to face big SEC and ACC teams, knowing, once regionals and nationals come around, we have to beat those teams anyway. So I kind of wanted to warm ourselves up throughout the course of the year and get us a lot of experience. As a team, we were really good at playing local golf courses, and we compete really well at home. So extending ourselves across the country was probably our next step from a program standpoint to kind of grow our experience. And I think we really started to get better throughout the year. We missed our first event because of the hurricane, which was our home event. So that was obviously a little bit disappointing. And then as the year kind of went on, we really started to play well. We played really well at Kiowa, which was our third event. And then our next event after that was in Puerto Rico against, really good teams. And we picked up quality wins against, the likes of Tennessee and Ohio State and big time programs. So I feel like we were really starting to kind of kick on and kind of find our groove against, opponents that we probably just weren't used to really playing unless it was on our terms. So that was really exciting for me to take them somewhere new, really out of their comfort zone and watch them play really, really well. Was definitely something that I think will help us going forward.
Coach, let's fast forward to the spring. You're in the spring season. That day in March, take us back to when you found out, your talk with your team, and just your thoughts when you initially found out about the coronavirus and COVID-19.
Yeah, we were actually at a practice round in Statesboro, Georgia, at the Schenkel, which is a really prestigious old collegiate event. So anyone who knows anything about college golf, it is a ton of fun, and our guys really enjoy it. But a practice round normally takes about 6 hours, and we only get to see the course once. So a practice round can be pretty stressful. It tests your patience a lot. It's just not that enjoyable because you're trying so hard to remember every break and every green and where the pins will be and all of these details that are going to be really impactful for you over the next 3 days. So needless to say, you won't see a lot of smiles in a practice round during a college golf event. And I can without a doubt say that this was the happiest I'd ever seen our team during that practice round. They were playing really well. We had a lot of energy. They were really excited to be there. They were just having a ton of fun. And that, while it seems pretty normal for a practice round, that is a big change. And so I was kind of communicating back and forth with our administration with, it was kind of right in the middle of things starting to break down and teams starting to be brought back. And we were actually the first team to be brought back, which probably shows you how on top of it our administration is. And so we were actually 9 holes through. We were right next to the clubhouse, and I kind of brought them together and I just said, hey, I think we're gonna head back in the car and, we'll be okay. And we might keep playing other tournaments. We might not. And it surprised me. Our guys were really emotional about it. They really wanted to keep playing. They really felt like they had something special going on. We were kind of leading into, what was going to be the important part of our season. And I really felt like they knew, how well things were going. So it was a pretty big juxtaposition between what a practice round normally is, how well things were going, and then how quickly it kind of turned.
Coach, if there ever was a sport that you could absolutely social distance, it's golf. Golfers, you kind of stand apart anyway. There's really no talking and no interaction, probably other than, I guess, touching the flag if you have to, put it back in. So for those guys and the fact that you had 4 solid seniors on that team at that moment, not knowing their future obviously had them upset. But, Coach, it sounds like you're in a good position because it sounds like all 4 of your seniors are coming back because of their spring season being canceled. Talk a little bit about your 4 seniors on the golf team.
Yeah, I think them all returning is probably a testament to the college. Shows everyone how great of a place it is to go to school, how supported they feel. It really wasn't, once they kind of got that extra year of eligibility, it was really just a question of, individually, how can we make it work? What kind of academics would they study? How would it work for the rest of their life? As they were moving on throughout their senior year, we would discuss individually a lot with them what their plan looked like, what, finishing college and graduating and moving on, either playing golf or in the workforce, how that would apply to them. So once we kind of got the small things figured out, it really became obvious to me more than anyone else pretty quickly that they love the College of Charleston. They love playing on this team. And so selfishly, that made me, feel good inside that they felt that way. And they're obviously 4 really good players. All of them have won a college event. They, are really experienced. And I think, kind of putting them on that bigger stage was really going to take their game to kind of the next level. So I think it was something that they were starting to, really feel like they could get better and push for tournaments that they hadn't won before. So getting that extra year probably just gives them a little bit more time and that opportunity to show themselves and everyone how good, they can be.
Coach, unfortunately, I'll have to say I've never been to a college golf tournament, so I don't necessarily know the format. But what I do want to ask you, Coach, is I know there's, you got 18 holes. I got a guy on a hole, 2 here or there. But now that you bring these 4 guys back, what does that do to managing your roster? I mean, does every player on your team play? It's kind of like you start on hole 1, you start on hole 2. Like, just kind of talk about the logistics of having 4 additional golfers on your squad next year and how you'll kind of adjust to that.
Sure. Yeah. So when we play in college events, we only travel 5 players. So we take our, the 5 players that might be best suited to that golf course. And on our roster next year, we'll actually have 13 players. So that obviously leaves a pretty big discrepancy between our traveling team and then how many players are staying at home. And for me personally as a coach, I really enjoy having a personal relationship with my guys, knowing how they're doing day to day. That matters to me, and it's kind of probably one of the backbones of our program is that they feel like I'm involved and that I have their back. So normally we would like to have 7, 8, 9 players, but when you have 4 seniors who are all really good players who want to come back to your program, and they're 4 really good young men that know how we normally do things. It's a great surprise, but it definitely does change the dynamic of probably how we would normally coach and normally run our program. And then obviously it changes our traveling team. Instead of having, 2 or 3 players staying at home, still going to class, working on their games, getting ready for the next opportunity, we're going to have, a lot more student athletes staying at home. So I'm hoping that that'll give them all a little bit more competition. When the traveling team is away, it'll allow them to kind of, push themselves against each other and play a little bit more golf. So hopefully it helps our program overall. It'll just raise the standard, but it definitely will be different from probably the perception that I had going into this coming year.
And Coach, of course, no one knew about this, virus that would take place in the spring. So you had already recruited guys to replace those 4 seniors that were leaving the program. Talk a little bit about your incoming recruiting class.
Yeah, we have Zach Krywulycz from South Carolina, who is the most winningest player in South Carolina for his age. He's just a young man that, is quiet and unassuming. And when you get him on the golf course, he's competitive and he finds a way to win all the time. And he's kind of perfect for our program. We really go after kids that are competitive and, that are mature in the way that they act and the way they play the game. So I think he'll fit in really well. And I kind of expect him to, hopefully push some of our older guys and make them have to earn their spots a little bit. And then our other player is Cameron Akers from Asheville, North Carolina. Cameron's won some of the biggest high school events in the Southeast and probably has, the biggest ceiling, I would say. Physically has a lot of speed, which is a big deal in college golf, trying to take over these bigger golf courses. I think his game will really improve as he gets to play with better players on the team. And that competition will push him day to day, I think, to probably be better than even he thinks he is.
All right, so Coach, I know the guys have been home during this time, not able to be here in Charleston. What has your interaction been with the team since all of this started back in March?
Yeah, we in general, like I said, I have a close relationship with my guys individually. Golf is kind of an odd sport in a sense that to get to a D1 level, throughout the course of their junior careers, they're not on a team. Most of the time they're playing by themselves after school. They're normally the best player at their golf club, and it's it's a little bit solitary. They don't have that team environment. So suddenly they get put into college golf and they're put into this team environment. It's a little bit different. So I found the easiest way to communicate is to have a lot of one-on-one meetings and really make sure that they know exactly where I stand and exactly what's expected of them and the plan. And there's things for the team that they have to buy into. They have to be great teammates and support each other. But, that's, I guess, kind of the carrot that I use. I try to, encourage them in our individual meetings and get them to buy into the team aspect that they're not really used to. So this, kind of new COVID-19 world, created a little bit of a challenge for us. We started out with some team Zoom meetings, as everyone kind of has. And, it was a little bit of a fiasco. They all were so excited to be on there and see each other and chat. And at the same time, I didn't have a ton of news to give them. A lot of it was just sitting around waiting. As one of the spring sports programs, we were waiting on this extra year. We were waiting on what our roster would look like. It was very hard to plan. So we kind of took a step back from a lot of team meetings and kind of went back to more one-on-one. And that's just kind of the style that they were used to. And it seemed to probably get a little bit more done. I joke with them now, they love the big team meetings because they all get to see each other and joke around and catch up. And we can all kind of be the team that we normally are when we're on the road, or how we are when we're after workouts. So it does provide that element, but we probably definitely use individual meetings and Zoom a lot more than most teams do, just because of the way that I normally communicate with them.
All right, so Coach, this upcoming season, I know you normally have a tournament out at Kiowa. Kind of let Cougar Nation know what the schedule looks like next year as much as you can, and will there be an opportunity to kind of come out and see the men's golf team in this upcoming season?
Yeah, there will be. We kind of have a plan A and a plan B schedule right now. Like we were talking about before, I was trying to extend our team and have us play a lot more throughout the country and kind of push our boundaries. So our original schedule saw us going anywhere from Minnesota to Puerto Rico to the Bahamas, all over the Southeast. They were really playing a lot of places. If, things don't progress in probably the way we all want to, our plan B schedule is a lot more localized. And either way, we will play actually out at Daniel Island the Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday after Halloween. We will play at Augusta the week before the Masters. Not at Augusta National, but close enough. And the guys will get some Masters practice round tickets, which will be a cool experience for them to get to go and watch the big players compete. And then in the spring, we have our Hootie at Bulls Bay tournament, which is also with the help of the Cougar Club. We put on a day on the Sunday, kind of a family day, where everyone who wants to be kind of around our team can come out, watch them compete. We give them kind of a set of times, a couple hours to come out, where they'll always be able to see our team play from the clubhouse. I'd recommend bringing kids because they're going to get a ton of free golf balls from the guys and hats and stuff like that. So it's probably one of the best kept secrets is our Cougar Club day out at Hootie at Bulls Bay in the end of March each year. They if you have any kids or even people who love golf or just love athletics, it's pretty fun to watch these guys compete, and you don't have to leave really the confines of the clubhouse. You just get to have some nice food and drink and watch these guys do what they normally do.
And I would think, Coach, with some of these teams that you bring in at Kiowa or at Bulls Bay, because, again, it's Charleston. Everybody wants to come to Charleston, and you're bringing teams. But a lot of times you will see some guys on these teams that one day you may see on the PGA Tour. Am I correct?
Yeah, absolutely. You'll normally have probably a minimum of 2 players every year immediately go from college to playing on the PGA Tour and winning the following year. And most of the time you can go through each collegiate year and pick the best 8 to 10 players, knowing full well they'll play on the PGA Tour at some stage. So it's a very, very easy, enjoyable place to come watch players play who will play on the PGA Tour, who will be major champions, who will be in the Hall of Fame. Guys like Matt Wolff and Colin Morikawa and Victor Hovland were playing college golf, 14 months ago. So, those are all great players, and that happens every year.
All right, so Mitch, you've not been able to, I assume, to play golf over the past couple of months because of the virus. What have you been doing in your spare time? Have you picked up any hobbies? Are you handy now? Like, what have you been doing, Coach?
I am the least handy guy available. And I want to blame my dad for most of that, the lack of knowledge, but it's not his fault at all because he is handy. So I have been probably stretching myself a little beyond my boundaries. I've been sanding and painting the front and back decks at our house. Getting good at changing light bulbs and hanging pictures and doing things that I was trying to escape before by always saying I had to go to the golf course. The superintendents in the area of the golf course would probably like my yard a little more. Normally this is the time of year where I'm away a lot. But now I get to put a little bit more time into the flowers and the grass and stuff like that surrounding our house. So the outside of our house is kind of left to me, and I've been pressure washing and just doing things that I probably shouldn't be doing, but trying my hand.
Well, that's outstanding, Mitch. And obviously I had a chance to have lunch with you, I guess, earlier this year, and it was very enjoyable to kind of talk a little bit about everything from golf to basketball. I know you're a big avid basketball fan, and so it's just good to catch up, and looking forward to doing that again soon. And I promise, Coach, I will get to either Kiowa or Bulls Bay this year to at least see a round of our kids play. Not necessarily sure what I'm watching, but I will be out there to support. How about that?
Love it. Come hang out. You'll have a good time, and if you can bring some juniors, our guys are great with them, and they'll get a huge buzz out of it. So come on down. You'll enjoy it.
That sounds good, Mitch. Well, again, man, we appreciate it. Thank you so much, and looking forward to catching up with you later on during the summer.
Absolutely. Thanks, Eric. Appreciate it.
All right. Now, don't forget, if you need any more information about our men's golf team, you can always log on to CofCsports.com. That's CofCsports.com, and click on men's golf, and you'll find all the schedules, player profiles, anything you need to know about Mitch Krywulycz and his program will be right there on the website at CofCsports.com. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.